Note from Kirk. There have been 2 audio files that have been lost due to a laptop burning up. 2 of the episodes that were lost were from the D&D campaign. When last we met, the group was fighting its way through the hatchery. We eventually made it to the final room where we confronted the lead cultist, which was the person that we shot back during the siege of Greenhist with an arrow. She was a tough fight, big battle on a bed in her private chambers, but we eventually dispatched her. We returned to Greenhist with the accumulated gold that we had found and other items. We returned items to the townsfolk which belonged to them in the first place. We also traded in some items for some gold. We scrapped a lot of other stuff for just surplus. We were told to meet Leotian in El Turel, which is a town south of Greenhist. We made it down in our cart with 3 dragon eggs, a silver bowl with dragon inscriptions, several sets of cultist outfits, ceremonial dagger, and 8 fine dragon talismans. We turned most over to Leotian. However, we first went to a magic shop and sold one of the eggs off. We haggled and haggled and haggled, and eventually wound up having to go to another shop because we had worn out our welcome at the first shop by asking for too much money. At that point, the story takes over. This podcast is rated MA. It may contain coarse language, sexual situations, and fantasy violence. It is not recommended for persons under 17.
Welcome to the 5th edition D&D podcast, The Rise of Tiamat and the Dragon Queen's Horde. Episode 4, On the Road, Part 1. I am Andrew Felling, the Dungeon Master.
I am Kirk, and I'm playing Caravan, the Wood Elf Monk.
This is Mary. I will be playing Zelania, the Wood Elf Sorcerer.
This is Seth. I'll be playing the Paladin Dragonborn Cespedes.
My name is Eric. I'm playing Falar, the Wood Elf Ranger.
Okay, so last time you all had just, you'd left Greenhist, you had retrieved all the dragon eggs, you made it all the way up to El Tur, or El Turel. It's a weird, it's Elven, fuck it. And you all went on a nice little shopping expedition where you acquired a few more goods, which they should be in your character sheets now. And you did so by parting with one of the dragon eggs and some of the gold. So you still have 2 of the dragon eggs left. And
oh, that's Lionel, right. I thought I had a whole lot more gold than I really did.
Right.
Yes, you did. That's right. Because you took all of the gold.
Yeah.
Not knowing it had been split. But yeah, there is Leotian, the half-elf monk. He is still waiting for you with the leader of the Order of the Gauntlet, a stout human named Onthar Froom, at the what's this thing called? I think it's like the Blackhorn Stag Inn. And you guys were at the point where you could now, more better equipped, and having spent some of the spoils of your adventure, to go and finish the delivery of the dragon eggs.
Right.
Okay.
Before we get going, I have the wound closure necklace. If anyone needs it, I can't activate it because I've got 3 items. And that thing will let you stabilize automatically.
I thought I bought an axe. I do not.
No, it was a hammer.
You bought a hammer.
We
still gotta get it. We still gotta get an axe for you.
I do not have a hammer.
I don't have my bow either.
Yours, I know, was being a shit.
Okay. Fortunately, it's an easy thing to deal with, even if it doesn't show up in my inventory, because we know the rules to it.
It's you just roll 4d4 for acid.
Yeah.
Like that's the big change.
Yeah.
And his, it's a warhammer unless he's fighting against structures, at which point in time it becomes siege weaponry. So
I don't see that. And also, I don't see my helmet. Have I not been able to pick that up yet? My bear helmet?
That was being worked on, I thought.
Yeah, we were going to pick it up the next day.
That's right.
Was it a week, maybe?
I thought it was a couple days.
Some length of time.
I think it was 2 or 3 days.
I thought I wrote it down, but I did not.
I guess I have to give up one of my +1s to AC if I want to have a magic sword and a magic bow.
Yeah, that's what I'm So I've got this wound closure necklace. If anyone needs it, that'll let you stabilize when you start to die.
What the fuck?
And it also doubles the number of hit points whenever you take a hit dice to regain hit points.
Nice.
It also
So
looks like
If a healer wants that, someone with healing wants that, so in case you guys go down, you can pop back up and then...
Hey, question. Oh, that's why. So nothing was popping up on mine, and it's because Kaylee last logged in over here.
I noticed that I still have all my money too. There's no way I still have 11 platinum after getting that bow and whatnot.
Sure there is.
Probably that would only be 110 gold.
Maybe.
I thought we pulled everything together and then try to pay for everything.
Yeah, you would have. That would have been most of it. But I mean, like, you still would have had some.
Okay.
So the only things we have on our buy list are a bag of holding and an axe for Cespedes, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
And the bag of holding was secondary concern. That was just a,
Well,
if you could.
it would help. Probably all of us.
That's true. Everybody involved. I think I was the one that added it, and I was...
Yeah. Since I'm not encumbered, I also put the Orb of Direction, Orb of Time on my character sheet, just so it's not floating out there in the notes for the campaign.
There we go. Okay.
Because I keep forgetting we have it.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
It's an Orb of Time and an Orb of Direction that when you attune to it, gives you the time of day and which direction you're driving.
okay.
Or going.
Okay.
So now that we have a cart, I guess we could...
They're good for navigating.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Is that like one of those directional things that sat in the RVs?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what that is, do they?
Yeah. A little fluid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think they still make those. Although...
What do we? Sorry, I was
The
blinking,
little
I'm looking at
Talking
it.
about those
Compasses,
little round
the
dash
floated-
compasses?
Oh, yeah.
I had one of those in my first car.
Yep.
Okay. So
Back when you had to use a map to get around.
Yeah. No, I just
Back in the
did
olden
direction am I
days.
going?
Always knew.
No, so
Yeah, you always
Yeah.
knew which direction you were going.
my little sister had this friend who she was just young enough to only ever need GPS and her smartphone to get anywhere, and her phone was dead, and I was supposed to give her a ride home, and I was asking like, oh, okay, so where do you live? And she just rattled off the address, and it was some side street that I'd never heard of. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the major intersection near it? And she's like, the what?
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
so what ended up happening was we drove around like all of Shrewsbury and Webster, like
Holy
through the in and
crap.
outs, and the whole time I was just on this long ass tirade about knowing where you live and major it was the oldest old man speech to you darn kids that I had ever generated, and it lasted for like a half an hour.
Well, it's so weird because I
Well
use
deserved.
GPS. I use GPS like everyone our age now that we have phones and whatnot. But I mean, I know this city from North County to South County with some pockets that I'd never really explored. But I mean,
Yeah.
I can get pretty much anywhere with no directions. Yeah.
Well, it's what. Yeah. No. I
Even though you would prefer the directions.
Yeah, I mean, to get somewhere, I still use my GPS, just so I find the fastest route. But I mean, I know where I am the whole
Yeah.
time,
I mean, don't ask me to make a left off of Gravois and know which direction I'm headed, but I'll get there.
Well, see, the thing is, I can picture a map of St. Louis in my head and know where the roads are on the map, so I can tell you what direction I'm going because I know where that is on a map.
Because I spent years having to pull the map out of the cabinet at my mom's house and look up addresses
Yeah.
before I left
Yeah.
the house.
Wow, us old folks.
I remember having an atlas in the back seat.
Yeah.
That big atlas, so I could drive cross country.
Yep.
Okay, Cespedes, I found your hammer and I added it to your sheet.
I'm going to
It is not
refresh.
equipped, so manage equipment. You are also magical.
Yes,
I know
the
you're mumbling,
sledgehammer.
but the words that I
Am
heard
I?
are, you are awesome vegetable.
Okay, so with yours, I've just added it, and it's kind of dumb because it wouldn't let me take off the base D6 or change anything about that. Mm-hmm. So in the notes, it just has description like you just roll 4d4s, you don't roll the D6.
Okay.
That's funny.
Unless you want me to roll the d6.
If you have an ability that adds a d6, then you can roll that d6. The other thing I did was to make this a little bit more balanced is I took away the ongoing effect of like you'd hit it with it still counts as doing acid and all that, but instead of like having on the next turn you do
More
acid. Because what I found is like, that lasts for several turns. So if he hits
Yeah.
like 5 in a row,
I was worried about that.
yeah. Or if you hit someone with like 2, because eventually as a ranger you will get 2 attacks. So if you hit someone with, then that's because of the way ticking dots basically work in this, they do in fact stack.
Oh, shit.
So that's why I was like, oh, I need to take this one thing off.
Yeah.
Now it's balanced. But yeah, so I just took off the ongoing effect from the bow. So it's just it hits. It does 44 acid damage, which makes the crit kind of insane. But
Yeah.
it's like, what do you mean? I need 8d4. Why the fuck do you need 8d4? Are you a wizard shooting like 8 fucking magic missiles? No, because those cap out at 5. Don't you know the fucking system?
You need 84 what?
I need 8d4s.
That's a ridiculous statement. Why would you ever say that?
Question though, I'm reading Mel's acid arrow now. It says on a miss, the arrow splashes the target for acid for half the damage and doesn't do any the next turn. Does that still count?
No.
Okay.
I had to de-spell it.
Okay. So it's just acid arrows.
It's just acid arrows, but I mean,
Okay.
like, it's consecutive acid arrows.
Okay.
If you hit a structure, it will still do all the acidy damage that you would normally do.
Okay.
So, so it's like you don't have to worry about like random combustibles or things like that with fire. But yeah, no, I had to take off the mischance, and I had to take off the continuous effects because that then made that made it too much.
Yeah, I get you. I was worried about that. I remember
know
talking
by
about it last time.
I know by saying this, we're going to spend the entire session in the woods, but I can't wait to take down a building with my siege hammer.
You're in a town.
Yeah.
You're in a town, okay? Don't do that.
I'm just waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to say, "You've just left the town." That's what he's going to say. Start off. You've just left the town.
No, actually, I had started off with, and we're still technically at. You're looking for the ocean and Onthar. It's just the Black Staggin, and so you can go talk to them about about your findings. Like, I am not making you leave town anytime soon. If you guys want to fuck off and do some more shopping, you can do that. You want to rob the mayor, you can do that. You want to start leveling a city? Let's see what happens.
We should rob a magic. Well, let's rob the magic shop that has the eggs.
Oh, jeez.
Tell them they either give us the eggs back or we take down their building. No?
I mean,
okay. It was just a thought.
Am I the only one on board with him trying this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are the only one.
I'm really not on board with it either.
Convenient.
Or am I?
So does anybody else want this periopt of wound closure, or are we going to sell it next time? Does anybody else have
If it requires attunement, I only have one more spot. Well, it's my bow takes up the last spot that I have, so I can't use it.
Do you, Seth?
It needs attunement?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. Are you full up? You only have 3.
No, I have one more. I have one more spot I could take, and I can heal stuff, so that might be good.
Okay. So you have your hammer. You have a shield and a sword, correct?
I have the sword. I have the pearl of power. The hammer is not able to be attuned.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think his hammer requires attunement, and the shield also doesn't require attunement.
Oh, that's awesome then.
Yeah.
No. So I have a spot open.
Then look up the periopt of wound closure and take it and put it on, because that'll keep you from dying. And then if you can shell out healing later on, that would help us all.
The shield basically twice per long rest casts a cantrip, and then once per long rest casts daylight.
Right.
It doesn't give any other bonuses other than those, and those are both non-lethal things unless you're fighting like something super situational.
Okay.
And then the hammer is just a normal beat face hammer. It does count as magic for when you fight things that are like immune to less magical weapon, so we'll count for that. And the only time it gets like super bonuses is when it's like, oh, I need this wall to come down.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
How do I find that? Official equipment or homebrew?
So what you do is on your sheet, you go to equipment, manage equipment, and then in the
okay.
Yeah. And you just type periap of wound closure.
And I will remove it. Done.
Yeah,
How do you spell periap?
Carefully.
With a T on the end.
P-E-R-I.
I got it. I found it. Done. Added.
And attune it so you can use it. And just remember, whenever you spend one of those hit dice, you get double, like at a short rest or whatever. That should keep you tanky.
Done.
Q.
Excellent.
I also have this
Thank
Ring
you.
of the Ram if someone wants it too. I just put it on my character sheet so I know to sell it if no one's taking it.
Nah, again, out
want
of slots, and
Okay.
I actually had to take off my Ring of Protection, so there's one of those floating around too if anybody wants it.
Damn.
We've got the Sunblade, the Thundering Sword, and Mel's Acid Bow.
Except for
so
the
I'm
sword.
fairly equipped here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I had to attune both the sword and the bow. So I still, and the bracers were worth +2. The ring was only worth +1, so I still have an AC boost. It's just I couldn't wear them both.
When you know you're okay. Yeah, because I feel like I took too much of the party's group treasure for the purchase of stuff. So
I got a bow. I'm happy.
It's all right. It's okay. I kept all the gold. It's fine.
I know you. The tank bank. Is that what you are
Yeah.
now? Okay.
Exactly.
So we sold one dragon egg.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they got squirmy when we started talking about more than one,
Right.
so we stopped doing that.
Yes.
We still have several sets of cultist outfits, ceremonial dagger, 8 fine dragon talismans, a silver bowl with dragon inscriptions, and the 2 eggs. Glorious Galahad was the magic shop owner. Okay.
So are we done shopping? Or are we going to try to get those last couple items we wanted? Or are we going to go look for our friends, or not friends, but our acquaintances that are going to give us more direction, I'm sure.
So if we're going to get the other items, we'll have to sell another egg, right?
Or sell some of the other stuff we just took off and
Yeah.
don't need. And
Let's
Yeah.
see if we could get a bag of holding for all the stuff that we're not going to be using.
yeah.
To see if he'll
Yeah.
buy it.
I don't think we really looked for a bag of holding either. Like we were
No,
worried
we
about.
ran
He
out
said
of
it was
money
like
first,
200.
and then
I thought he said it was like 200.
Then I mean,
at one point.
if that axe is available, I would take that axe. I have some chainmail to sell. I have a great sword I could sell.
Yeah, the
Long sword.
the bag of holding, I think it was like 3 or 4. I think he was giving you a discount because you're buying like a such huge
Right.
amount, which may have why I got him like $250 or something. But yeah, so if you're at the half elf, or if you're still at the elf magic shop who likes you still,
Right.
he can give you a bag of holding for both rings, no question, just straight trade.
Okay. I think that was it on the stuff we had.
I can also sell chainmail, great sword. That's 125. I've got a shield and a short
Keep
sword.
in mind, resale means you get half of its cost.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
we've been using these things. It's little worn, not mint condition anymore.
Well, I
They
guess
have cobalt
just
blood
going by the-
embedded in them, guts. You know.
I lick that off.
He just sits there lapping his blade. Just,
so. I guess go ahead and sell that stuff off so you're not carrying it around.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
For something like that,
so-
you'd have to go to like a blacksmith, and he'd give you the full 50% because he's like, oh yeah, this should I just have to polish and resell.
But this
Yeah.
is
Okay.
but this is a magic store, so no.
Yeah, but I mean, like finding.
But didn't you go to a blacksmith for your helmet or whatever anyway?
Yes, I can maybe sell him that stuff for.
Yeah, and I think like
That would
that.
be excellent.
I think that one was like on a crit while wearing the helmet. You get
Right.
to make a free intimidation check for things within 30 feet of you. That's again not something that needs to be attuned. It's not technically magic. It's just you did extra to get an extra badass thing. So here you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. On the off chance you make a crit, here's something fun.
I think that was it then.
You're a dragon wearing a bear skull.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So, Mary, do you want to put the bag of holding on your
Yeah, I can put it on mine.
shibi?
Can we officially call you Hermione? What was her name?
Hermione.
All right.
Hermione?
Count de Monet.
Can we call you that now? Hermione.
It just sounds dirty when you say
know.
it.
Yeah, like,
And a little creepy.
Because it is. It is. It is.
I'm glad
It
you're
is.
frozen on our screen here
It is.
because I'm sure there's a glimmer in your eye that would make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, you got that
Believe me,
stare
I
in
wanted
his
to-
soul for view here. So-
I'm wanted in 3 states for the things I've said.
Like wanted or wanted.
Nobody wants Seth. We just have him.
Exactly.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Yeah, I think we.
Yep.
I don't have my notebook today, so I can't remember. But I think we were finishing up shopping, and that's why we were ready.
Yeah.
We ended the session. And,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was also like late.
Yeah.
So okay.
It was only 11:30 my time.
Yeah. So, and like I said, it's just the other thing was you guys hadn't quite found the inn yet. Like you asked like one guy, and Cespedes failed to collect information, and then you guys went shopping. So,
It was a terrible roll.
do you guys want to yada yada that, or do you want to investigate the town some more?
That's up to you guys.
Either
I
way.
don't have anything to investigate.
Yeah. If all we're doing is looking for a place, can we just go there?
Okay. Yeah.
An hour.
I remember that I talked to the magistrate or something while I was here, and they were kind of pointing me in the right direction, and that's all I really needed to know.
Okay. So you're on the other side of the river from the main entrance, and a good 3-4 blocks away from it, you actually do kind of find this tavern, and it looks more like someone built an inn or a tavern on top of an actual military training field. There's a big fence that goes around it with all kinds of dummies set up, and there are men working the dummies. There's a few guys over in a ring that are wrestling. There's archery up in the back. Like, this really looks more like an impromptu militant headquarters. And as you guys approach, no one really stops you. You're able to walk right on in, and you do see many non-military looking patrons both coming in and out, just going about their ways, giving very much the impression like this is, in fact, an inn. And over the walkway as you walk in, there's just this large, ornate stag head that is just midnight black. Very obvious this is where you need to be. And as you walk in, it's single level, and there are 3 fireplaces. There's one on the left, one on the right, and there's just one kind of like column one in the middle. And there's just, each one of them is roaring, people sitting along them, just drinking away the day. And looking around, you really do get the effect that these guys are all, everyone in here has some kind of either military or mercenary or adventurer background. Every one of them just real hardy. Several of them you see walking around with these articulated breastplates, and right at the center, kind of like fist from sternum going down to stomach, is this bright blue gauntlet. Like, no one's hiding.
Is this something we should know?
We were told there were 2 separate factions, weren't there? One was a blue gauntleted thing, and the other was a different color gauntleted thing.
No, you knew that there is one group called the Harpers, and this is the group that Leoshan's part of, and one of the groups that he was advocating for help in fighting off the Cult of the Dragon was the Order of the Gauntlet, and Onthar Froome is the leader of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, so he was looking for help, and it was one of those things where we were more likely to find him here, and if he hadn't already been here, something else.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while, yes.
Yeah, the information that Leoshan had given you before you left Greenhist was that when you got back to Greenhist, if he wasn't there, he was up here actively advocating for assistance from the Order of the Gauntlet.
That's right.
And Onthar runs the Order of the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm...
And Leoshan is a Harper.
He is a Harper,
Okay.
yes.
What was Onthar's last name?
Froome. F-R-U-M-E.
Okay. I'm going to ask probably a stupid question. So Leoshan is a member of the other faction?
Yes, he is a Harper.
Somehow that all escaped me. Like, I don't even recall.
It was mentioned super briefly.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I vaguely recall it.
it's one of those, like, I was sitting down earlier this week reading over this. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's right.
Okay. So...
And the Order of the Gauntlet's an elite group that's part of the Harpers.
Oh, okay.
No. They are A, not elite, and B, not part of the Harper. They are coexisting factions of independent, more like guilds.
Okay.
Do they follow Bahamut?
Not actively. There may be some of them that do follow.
Tiamat?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No, they. Leoshan specifically was targeting them because he believed they would actively look to crush this cult, which is actively following Tiamat.
Okay.
Okay. But there's no ill will between the Harpers or the Order of the Gauntlet or anything like that?
Not that you're aware of.
Not that we know of.
Okay. I felt
Yeah, didn't know if we were going to
felt
walk into a
lost,
mess.
Like,
He walked in like,
why is he working for them or trying to help them if they're, blood enemies?
we walked into shark territory. Jeez. Cheese it.
And meat shorts.
What was it? It's like the Sharks and the Clippers. That's what East Side Story is about, or something like that, or West Side Story.
Sharks and the Clippers.
I don't fucking know.
That would be the
Jets.
Sharks and the Jets.
There you go.
Now you have to snap your fingers a lot.
Benny and the Jets.
Yeah, same guys.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and I was still like, "Is that right? That is not
I saw
right."
it at the Muni.
No, I said it knowing it was wrong, but just going, "Fuck it." I know one of them is called the Sharks.
Yes, that is correct.
And then a basketball team. A Hispanic basketball team.
Everything is terrible.
Puerto Rican basketball.
Is it a Caribbean basketball team called the Tropics?
No? Okay. D&D, yeah.
We deserve cancer.
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's right.
Shut it down. Shut it all down.
Usually I'm the one to step over the line.
No joke.
No, not with my week. So yeah, you're here. You're in the tavern. The crypts have their signs up. What do you want to do?
Do we recognize anybody in here? Do we need a roll for that?
Yeah,
is it crowded enough?
It's movable, but yes, there is definitely a crowd.
Okay.
There's easily 40 to 60 people in here.
Okay.
Is there Cespedes is feeling like he should just find a corner to go sit in? Is there an open table?
Define open. I mean, there are tables with open seats in them that aren't heavily occupied, but pretty much everyone's...
Is there a table that if myself and maybe one other person sat at, they would leave?
You are most certainly able to try to intimidate someone out of...
So I would like
table.
to find a table that has one or two people, and I'm going to sit in it and try to intimidate them out of there. Would anyone like to join me?
I'm working recon, looking for the guy that I report to.
Okay. You rolled a perception, right?
Yeah, 18.
18?
That's what I
I got less than that. I am also apparently just looking for other elves,
Yeah.
so...
Okay.
You're on your own, Cespedes.
So you both got 18s?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to deal with them, and they'll come back to you. So you actually
Yes,
do
fair.
see a few sets of pointed ears, and you're having trouble figuring out, okay, is that him? Is it not him? No, his hair's too dark. But you do notice a familiar figure more towards that center, just on the other side of that center column fire pit, who is standing next to this broad... It almost looks like a dwarf standing before you realize, that's a human sitting person who is, and the sitting man, he's just balding over his head, holding his great sword next to him, and just letting out this big belly laugh. And you kind of figure those might be our guys. So you kind of okay, I think that's Leoshin, and that guy kind of matches Onthar. So okay, so if you want, you have a sneaking suspicion if you want to go over there and check. Cespedes. You do. It's not too hard for you to find a table that only has one or two people on it who are kind of sitting and just swapping, stories of the day over kind of off in one corner. Wouldn't necessarily say it's a quiet corner, just because this place was not designed to mute sound, almost if it was designed to amplify it. And you're able to, if you want to, you are more than welcome to go and sit down at this table and attempt to growl some veterans out of their spot.
I'm going to sit down and growl a 21 at him.
Okay, hold on.
And that's going to be at our table.
Well, unless he growls back, which I think Andrew's working out here.
I'll stab him in the face. It's fine.
Escalation. I missed you. So 21?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he super doesn't give a fuck. And he does, you sit down and you kind of make this weird kind of hissing growl, something like that. And the guy catches on to what you're trying to do, and he looks back at you and just trying to be tuned in and goes, "You got something in your throat, boy." He just kind of coughs through the last word as his ale did not quite go down. You kind of get the sense that he was trying to flex back at you, but his cough threw it off.
Just an incompetent intimidation off is in the works.
Well, no, Cespedes was actually fairly intimidating with his growl and everything. He kind of gave this real monstrous presence that just broke like waves on rocks against this guy.
Right.
But this guy was mid swallow, and part of his beer came back up in a burp, and just screwed his flex back. His friend, actually sitting next to him, begins to laugh at the two of you.
All right, so I'm going to crack some lightning then. I want these guys gone.
Okay. So are you actually going to breathe it, or are you just crackling it in your mouth?
Just crackling in my mouth. So another intimidation.
Yeah, we'll just go out a second in.
22.
22. Okay. And the other one? The one that was laughing stops, stares at you, and just kind of like this look at his face, like, are you really trying to start something right now, boy? Move along. That's actually a persuasion check that he's trying back at you. He sounds reasonable, but I'm going to let you decide. You do see them both kind of grip, one gripping his sword, the other one gripping his axe.
No, I'll just go find Caravan and walk away.
Yeah. The one that you flexed at the first time looks like he's about to say something, and his buddy shoves him back down into his chair.
He would have died.
All right.
You're not here for a whole conversation we had about road rage and not knowing what people I have. And
Yeah.
we had a big discussion on that. So.
Wait, what? Road rage? Was that road rage?
Not knowing what people have or what they're capable of, and then, yeah.
That's why I walked away.
I'm still standing up with everybody else, kind of looking around.
Yeah.
I guess we're by the
Yeah, I'm heading over towards the guy, the guy that I recognize, and then the big, broad human, with the belly laugh.
And as you make your way around, you do realize, like, oh, that is in fact Leoshin. This makes sense. You get a good look at the guy he was talking to, and at first, the first thing you notice is the scar going over his crown down his eye. Because at first you thought, like, oh, something left 2 huge claw marks, and you realize, oh no, that's one big furrow. And this guy is moving around, picking up drinks, slapping his stomach, shifting his weight as need to, in full fucking plate, like it was work clothes. Just real solid mass underneath, just shifting everything around as he needs to. Almost ritually checking where his sword is with every, 5th move. And while his eyes aren't crazy, you sense that he's not entirely there either. And he has this, in addition to, the top of his head is really the only place that doesn't have hair. You see it coming down with this massive beard and mustache just overflowing the breastplate of his armor. He has both gauntlets off, and you can see the hair coming up off the back of his hands and knuckles, which are just, except for in a few places where it's just worn away, most likely from being inside the gauntlets so much. And just with the big, thick, meaty hand, he just palms full mug of ale, laughs off something about one of his buddy's moms, and just takes a huge drink before slamming it back down.
All right, I kind of wait for an opportune moment while they're telling stories or whatever to make my presence known from being back behind them, and I'm actually more interested in getting Leoshin's attention, and when I see that I have it, I give him a salute.
Okay. And it's much easier to get his than Onthar's at this point. It only takes only a few moments before he sees you, and when you give the salute, he actually puts a hand on Onthar's shoulder and goes, and it's like, we have business to attend to. And with that, Onthar kind of turns around in his seat, looks over at you, and while he doesn't stand up, you can tell that you have his full attention, and he reaches out and so goes, welcome to my inn. How you doing?
Give him a salute back, and
when you do that, that's when he does snap up out of his chair, and while it's not the same salute, he gives you his salute back.
Excellent.
And after that, he goes, clears his throat, reaches back over, picks up his mug and goes, let's go somewhere a little bit quieter. I understand you have a fun story for me. And he sips over the top through his hand and takes you back, winding, and takes you into a room just off from where the kitchen would be, and pulls a shade close after. There's enough room for all of you in there, but who all is going in?
I'll go.
I'm in.
Yeah, me for sure.
Cesspit, you going with us?
So yeah, I came to follow Caravan, so I'm good.
Okay, and so it's the 4 of you, Leoshin and Onthar back there, and there is there's no table, but there is just enough chairs where everyone's able to sit and lean. Onthar chooses to lean up against the far wall.
What happened to all Zell's onlookers? I'm sure all those army men were staring at her.
And she was oblivious.
They're Some of them are interested in young
You're
boys,
creepy,
but
lad.
most of them are not. So you have to be staring at her for a minute before you realize, oh, those are boobs. Except for the prepubescent boys, they know. They all know.
There was a giant dragon in plate armor, but they didn't see that at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So once you all get back there, Leoshin helps. He futzes a little with chairs, make sure he's got a place to sit, and he sits down. He goes, so tell me, what have you found of the Raiders' encampment?
Well, I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna look at. We've never discussed who's kind of the leader here, but since I kind of had a mission, I'm gonna go ahead and do this kind of like a report. And well, I guess I can kind of yada yada through it. I do want to give them a full explanation of what we found, the resistance that we encountered, the oddities that were the dragon eggs.
How many eggs do you tell them about?
2.
I think I might roll on that because I don't know my character enough to know what he would do here. He's very honor bound. I want to say 3, but the look from the Dragon Man when I get close to that says otherwise.
But actually, I should follow the rule of law as well. So, but I don't know if this follows the rule of law.
You are talking to a potential ally that hates Tiamat almost as much as you.
But if we tell him we had, is he going to be upset if we tell him we had 3? I guess that was my original. I know I'm off topic here. I apologize.
We probably should have discussed this after we sold the egg.
Yeah. Like, should we be telling people we sold the egg or
no,
not?
because that wizard
we
guy
don't
did not want that out.
Right. We don't want to get whoever we sold it to in trouble,
Right.
So we should probably not mention it.
Or just say we lost one on the way here.
Right.
Yeah, so...
One didn't make it.
Okay, so
I could probably fumble with that truth.
One didn't make it.
Okay.
Character-wise, I don't think I can say we lost it. I feel like I have to just say we had 2, period.
Well, I could always jump in at that point and say we lost one on the way and only have 2 left.
I'm kind of, because I'm not that smart. I kind of want to make an excuse and be like, no one in town when we brought these back was interested. So we decided to try to bring them back here. And one of them is, we initially had 3, but we're down to 2. Something like that.
I'm not going to stop you.
He asks what happened to the 3rd.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
At that point, I did the slow look over to Falar.
Falar is not the brightest. He's a very good soldier, but he's not a good thinker. He's very uncomfortable right now. Well, damn, what do I tell them?
We only had 2.
Yeah, we should have worked this out before we're sitting in front of the giant man.
Yeah. That's why I could have broken in and just said we had 3, but only 2 made it here with us. 3rd one's somebody else's problem.
Yeah, and assuming that you did go with that, because that's where most of the groups seem to be leading. They ask like, well, what happened to the 3rd one? How did it become lost? How did it get out of your possession?
It's someone else's problem now. Someone else took it off our hands.
Onthar kind of is like, actually, I don't know. Onthar's sharp, but not that sharp. Yeah, he's not that sharp. And
persuasion.
Okay.
Deception.
Yeah, roll a deception.
10.
Yeah, Onthar just kind of goes, you let someone steal one of the eggs from you. I'll get some boys on it to track it down.
We didn't let them, Onthar.
Did you stop them?
It just happened.
He just shifts his, kind of grinding his shoulders into the wall.
As far as we know, it's being destroyed as we speak.
It shouldn't be a problem in the future.
They both kind of give you this very wary look and ask where the remaining 2 eggs are.
Oh, those we have safe.
Okay.
And we did find out. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, after losing one, we weren't going to let the other 2 go so quickly, easily.
And we do know they are alive. They're live eggs. There's stuff in them. It's growing.
Okay. Before Arnthar can say anything else, Leoshin says, "Please, after we part, bring them around back, and we will properly put them to rest."
Okay.
What?
We should have sold them. That's what he said.
We tried.
If we were smart, we would have sold the one place, went to the other place, sold the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then told these guys you only found one.
Yeah.
I just can't live with myself as a soldier, a loyal soldier, to do that. So this was the edge of my capability of deception here.
The other 2 eggs.
Yeah. Where he just says, bring him here, we'll properly put them to rest. When you ask what that means, he says, well, we're going to make sure they never hatch. We're going to drain them of all their magical properties and then dispose of the remains.
Okay. What about drawing the attention of the mother? That's what we've been sort of worried about so far. Can we be tracked easily? And if we...
Leoshin, well, he kind of nods and agrees that is a very valid concern. It's only valid as long as an egg is alive.
Okay.
Or if you destroy the egg
Right.
while it still contains magic. Once you break the magical link and siphon all of that off, then you destroy the egg.
Okay.
It has, and you have to totally char it to be so that way the mother can't track it via scent or magic.
Okay.
And they will perform both of these rituals far, far outside of town.
Okay. Yeah, because we don't want to have a big dragon drop in.
Yeah.
It's good for these 2 eggs.
Hand on head. The other guy should know about that, so he should do severing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You would think.
Again, no longer our problem.
Shit.
I mean,
Things in theory.
Big black dragon drops in.
this isn't our town.
Shit.
I don't live here. I don't
Right.
even know where
What if
here
it ties
is.
here
This is-
yet?
This is like a human place, I think. I'm better in the woods.
You're hearing all this information. You're like, huh? I need to get out of town.
Yeah.
We're all doing quick glances to each other, like, "Whoa, ooh."
Wait, I haven't taken down a building yet. No, we can't leave town.
It's good to know where your priorities are.
I can see this now.
Exactly.
Like, as soon as a dragon starts attacking this town, he's going to go, oh, well, no one's going to miss this building.
Right. We're going to be in trouble no matter what, though. So that's a bad thing. All right. Go and get the cart
Sure.
and bring it around back and
Let them unload some laundry.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, we probably have a moment to ourselves. Do we want to discuss anything else of these trinkets and stuff like that? Do we want to try to sell any of this stuff, or is there anything else we want to talk about before we start talking to these official guys
That's the
again?
only thing, yeah. Didn't we have a notebook? We gave all that to the other guy. The notes of where they were headed and all that stuff.
Yeah, back in Greenest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we had basically gotten down to the here are all of your treasures back, and then we're keeping the gold, and we already did that.
Right.
So
Yeah, and we do. Our cart isn't just a cart; it's like an Uber battle cart.
well, it's
Yeah,
a
they can't have our
reinforced.
cart.
it's a reinforced cart. You would need to add. You would need to actually mount weapons to it, and then it would be a battle cart. But
Sweet.
it's a battle cart without battle.
We've
I
got
don't
a battle
know,
dragon. We're
Stick a
fine.
sorcerer on top, and it's a
Yeah.
battle cart.
Yeah, we
pretty
have
much.
We have a live
You or the
lightning
dragon could
cannon.
become the turnip,
Yeah.
or the archer could be the
We're not
turret.
leaving our
Like,
cart with them. We're not leaving
No.
our cart with them.
No.
Oh no! This
but
is
we
our
at least.
cart.
I don't think we have anything for the silver bowl with dragon inscriptions, or the ceremonial dagger, or the talismans that I know of.
Like
Correct.
is there an actual value for us, or do we want to hand these over
I don't
as
know.
well?
We didn't have the talismans checked.
Are they
going
to buy the eggs, or are they just taking them?
Well, I mean, I have no problem at all getting a reward for
Right.
this mission. Or I might have a problem because it was just a mission and it's kind of an honor thing, but if you guys want to ask for a reward, and I would probably ask to share in that, but
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
And did we have the dragon talismans checked for magic?
I want to say you did, and
Okay.
I'm just going to go with
Yeah, I think they're all mundane.
if you have. They're all almost
I
artwork
think I can
pieces.
do that.
But
I think I can do that, actually.
Detect magic?
I thought you could detect good and
Yeah.
evil. That's different.
No, I think I can detect magic as well.
Oh,
Check your spells, because now we're 5th level, so you may have.
Yeah. So, yeah, detect magic. I'm going to prepare that.
or what you can do.
Can I go ahead and prepare that?
Yeah, you would have to unprepare one thing and then prepare that. And what I
Yeah.
was going to say is
Done.
So what you can do right now is if you want to switch your spells around, you can. Or I can just say at some point you cast Detect Magic on these. Because we
had a couple of days of travel time.
Yeah, we did.
You had several days of travel time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I could have sworn this has already happened.
See, yeah, I thought I had to.
I thought we had, but I just want to make sure
Maybe
before we hand them over and they're
Let's double check. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's double check.
Magical mounts.
Detect magic.
Yeah.
flying magical mounts. Oh, we just gave them over. Thank you.
It's not. Yeah. No, who was it? Gooflick. Yeah, you're not Gooflick.
Right.
Gooflick and his many wondrous items. To his set.
So if they're not, then let's hand over all that other stuff and get it out of our
it's just
hands and everything. And
we already made a decent profit off of
right.
this.
Well, and I think it would add
So
to
is
our
it
report back to Laotian
Yeah.
anyway. Like this is good adventuring.
right.
So is it magic or what?
No.
No,
nothing
they're
with
not magic. Nothing else in that cart flips your magic radar that you didn't already know was magic. And whatever you guys hand over to Laotian, he's very interested because it's going to give him deeper insight into the
Right.
cult, which will give him deeper understanding of how they operate, which can allow them to predict targets and places where they will try to perform rituals, which will allow the Harpers and the Order of the Gauntlet to disrupt them. He does let you know that he was able to sway the Order of the Gauntlet to assist, and that he still needs to travel further north and east to try to acquire more allies. Because with everything you keep telling him, the cult continues to grow and gather more raiders under them to where they are now at this point in time, based off of what you've told him, an actual standing army. And while the Order of the Gauntlet are seasoned warriors, they just don't have the numbers to match
Right.
an army.
Okay.
And we told them about the plans for splitting the group up and harassing other people to this, was it southwest?
Yeah, that they were going to
And
do
the main army was going north.
diversionary tactics.
Yes, and with that, he says that he didn't know about it moving south to harass anything, and that's important information, but that the Harper's spies were able to discover that there is a caravan of cultists with a lot of goods moving out from Baldur's Gate and heading up north along the tradeway. And he holds up a bag. It doesn't really look that big or magnificent. And he says that the contents of this bag is payment for what you've done plus an advancement if you are willing to take this next leg of the mission. And there will be an equal bag when you finish.
Sounds good.
I don't have anything better to do.
And when you open it up and you look inside, you see 8 flawless gemstones. There are 4 sapphires, 3 rubies, and a diamond, each of them worth easily over 1,000 GP apiece.
Oh, right.
Nice.
I'm back in the gold, baby. I'm back in the gold.
Yeah. For those of you with a more magical background, you actually do realize that that diamond could actually be used as various spell component, as well as any of these rubies could be set, or rubies and or sapphires could easily be set inside a magical implement, which would then allow for the jeweled aspect that a lot of magic stuff requires. So these could be magical crafting ingredients or raw cash, however you want to use them, because they are all like flawless. Like you hold the diamond up, and aside from the light that it reflects through it, you can actually like see through it.
Nice.
And same thing with the ruby; it just kind of gives everything this red hue. Same with the sapphire, with being blue.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And he says what the mission is he needs you all to go to Baldur's Gate, somehow become part of the caravan, and follow the cultists north on where they're going. Given that they're going on the tradeway, he believes they're going to pass through Waterdeep, and he is going to try to meet you all up there with a few more, with hopefully getting another few resistance groups that he knows around the area that may help combat the cult, especially if they are moving more further north. And when he sits there and kind of ponders to himself aloud, it's like, why the such large ruse to make it sound like everything is moving south, that they're moving all this north? What the hell is up north? And he kind of looks back over the things you gave him. It's like, the answer has to be within, like, this. And he's looking over the bowl, the knife, and the idols.
Plus all the other stuff that was in that pile that they just took.
Right.
Now,
Are they arming a bigger army up there?
Did we get any more information that we can tell him from the items that we left back at the Abbey or back at Greenhist? Because we did leave some stuff with them.
It was jewelry and stuff I think they stole from Greenhist.
Right.
Yeah, most of that was personal
Like
artifacts.
We didn't turn over any kind of information to the...
There was
something I
They gave them those letters that said where they were traveling. I thought it was
Gotcha.
about the gist of...
But we knew the content, like we can relay that to him so
Yeah.
it can help him try to figure this out.
Right. And he's just scratching his head, this much larger, puzzle that he's seeing, and this level of deception, while deception is not uncommon for this cult, is being done on such a much grander scale that it's frightening for him. You can actually see the fear in him.
Can I make an Arcana check? Just like looking at the shit he's got piled on the table.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
What are they summoning? With a bowl, with a dagger,
Okay.
with talismans? Is that part of a ritual?
It was cocked. It was a 20, but it was cocked. I got a 10.
10? You
No, nothing?
You don't really know too much about the specifics, but you do know with generally knives and bowls like this, there is especially these kind of cults, there is literally some form of blood sacrifice involved. You don't think the totems specifically are too important, but maybe perhaps what they are made of is what's the important bit. Because a lot of ritual is done through symbology and the belief you hold in some kind of item. So, you just it's probably more along the lines of like, okay, well, there's the wood one, there is the polished stone, there's the obsidian one.
Right.
Like, what
were they getting ready to do that ceremony with Leotian when we freed him? And
Yeah, because they were in the middle of a sacrifice that looked like a blood sacrifice. They had a bunch of captives and...
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was strapped to, basically a St. Andrew's cross down at the foot of a Tiamat. But you didn't find this bowl there. You found this bowl
right in the
inside, and that
cavern.
was surrounded by those black candles. So you think that maybe those have something to do with it.
oh, what do we do with those? Do we
You
take
just
those?
have them still.
Oh, shit. Let's give them to them, too, then. I forgot all about those. Did I?
The GM never forgets the loot.
We
totally got this.
The
No, you
GM.
didn't.
Oh shit, we had a blow dart.
The
We had a
GM never
blowgun
forgets.
with darts and poison and all that shit still too.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a deck of cards.
Five black candles. Yep, I did write that down.
And I don't volunteer my deck of cards. Even if they are evil, I want them.
I mean, they literally just
never
look like
know
a
what
deck
you
of
could do with
cards.
those.
So,
Just
We also have the Tiamat holy symbol we give them
okay.
that we took off the priestess.
Oh, I thought we gave that to Greenhist.
Oh, did we give that to them? I thought.
I didn't think they wanted it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
think
they didn't.
wanted-
They you tried to give it to them. And they were like, "Okay, cool. We'll make some nails.
Yeah,
We'll make a nail."
Okay.
but we do have the black candles, so we'll give them those too. If there was no magical properties to them.
Yeah, nothing in and of themselves
Okay.
seem to have its own
Okay.
magical property. But like all of this stuff, if any of you were ritual casters,
Okay.
you could have been using it for that.
Okay. I guess we donated all to the city, Greenhist, so they could make stuff out of it if they needed to protect themselves. Okay. So that should empty out our stores of all the stuff we've picked up so far then. We shouldn't have anything left over from the cult, really.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we're going... He asks us to go towards Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
And we're going through...
Which one thing you guys would know, just being from the area.
And there was another town mentioned too. Going through
We're going.
Yeah,
The
so-
caravan's going to Waterdeep, correct?
Waterdeep.
Yeah, he believes that their main target, given that they are going along this trade route called the Trade Way, that they will be aiming for Waterdeep, as many goods do go from Baldur's Gate, cross the Fields of the Dead, all the through the Trollbark and Misty Forests, all the way up to Waterdeep. And you guys actually are kind of at this weird where Elturel is located. You're kind of at this weird location because part of the Tradeway kind of does this weird split right here on the river that you guys are on. But a lot of goods tend to come down from Waterdeep, use the fast-moving currents of the river to get down to Baldur's Gate. And while sailing up that river is possible, it's super challenging, especially if you're also trying to carry a large load of stuff. And it's generally faster and safer to just take a cart and go from...
Up the tradeway.
Yeah, just take from Baldur's Gate across, again, the fields. It's safer to cross the Fields of the Dead than it is to try to sail up this river. So...
And through the Troll, what was it?
So it's... the highlighted points are the Fields of the Dead, and then up further north from that, because all of this is kind of a winding path north, is the Trollbark Forest, and then the Misty Forest, which, a few days on the other side of the Misty Forest, and the Delambir River is Waterdeep. Okay. The city of Waterdeep.
Are there towns along the way here, like little towns and stuff?
It's an active trip. If you can get a waterway to get to Waterdeep, you'll get there in a few days. If it's going to be a cart trip to Baldur's Gate, where you'll be starting off, where the target meetup is for this caravan, it's going to be a few weeks. So it's how do you want to get? So it's a little bit of how do you want to get there?
Okay. Do we need our cart? Because we could potentially catch these guys. We move. The four of us move way faster than an army or a group of cultists.
True, but they think they're going there to start up this caravan, and we're supposed to go infiltrate the caravan and follow them, right?
Right. And now these caravans, and Leoshin has all this information for you. While he doesn't know the exact path, he kind of knows all the stops. To answer your question, yes, there are various taverns. It is like it's not 100. There are large stretches where it's not 100% like a hammered down trail, but there are plenty of stretches where it is a hammered down trail. And along that hammered down stretches, there are actual inns and small towns, farming communities where there will be active, safe places to rest. Though there are plenty of stretches where you will have to camp out under the stars.
So our goal here is to catch up with this moving...
It's not moving yet. It hasn't left Baldur's Gate.
And this is the cultists we're talking about.
Right, the cultists. And they are estimated to be set to leave in about a week. So if you took your cart, you would have to find a way of intercepting them and becoming part of the caravan in the Fields of the Dead.
Yeah.
And if you took the waterway, you could become part of the caravan at Baldur's Gate. Either you get stocked up with a cart there, or you get hired on as guards. Yeah. He kind of looks at all of you you look very fit and, clearly seasoned.
Well, it seems like these cultists are recruiting, so they're bringing in more people. I guess it would not be too hard to infiltrate.
Right, and it's not just the cultists that will be part of this caravan. There will be other legitimate businesses that will be, because there are safety in numbers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, while he loves the irony of you getting the cultists' money to then spy on the cultists, you don't have to go that route. If you maybe feel like being actually physically attached to somebody else's cart in there, if not your own, then
I'd say we could just ask to join the caravan with our cart, and that way we have our stuff with us.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll have to cut across country and meet the caravan halfway, because they'll have left before we get to Baldur's Gate. So, but I'm fine with that too.
They are.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of losing our cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are planned to be gone from Baldur's Gate by the time we get there, or
if you went straight to Baldur's Gate, you'd probably miss them by a few days by taking your cart.
Okay.
And then he kind of pulls out a map and he points. He's like, versus if you go to here, and while it's still mostly close to Baldur's Gate, you're 3 or 4 days out.
Yeah.
You can probably beat them to getting here and just say that you had some kind of wagon trouble and you had to fix, and you were waiting for the next caravan to come along and join. He kind of fabricates that story for you.
Now, one minor question here. Have we waited our few days for us to get the bear helm? Or are we going to put ourselves behind?
Yeah, you got that.
Oh, am I going to miss?
No, you get it. You
Sweet.
get it. I put that time restraint on there without reading this time restraint, and
Gotcha.
I want him to have what he wants.
Okay. Well, that was my question.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get farther behind because we're like, oh, damn, we have loot to get.
No. Well, it's not just that. It's also like, oh shit, I gotta catch up with these guys. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm kind of acting not exactly under orders because I've volunteered to help, but in that volunteering, he's kind of my commander, so I'm totally in for it. So no questions. I'm down.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as I'm in, I would rather keep the cart, and I feel pretty confident in our collective cross-country abilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he did pay, and he's offering to pay you.
Right.
He just dropped, what was it, like $8K in your lap, and he's willing to drop another $8K as soon as when he sees you guys again in Waterdeep. So.
Okay.
All right. Let's pack up, get provisions, and head out.
Yeah.
And with that, he also kind of shows you the path that he'll be taking, which he's going to leave in the morning with you guys, where you guys are going to head westward by a little north. He's going to head almost in a due north to a place called Broader Sky Bridge, and he believes that this will be one of your first stops when connecting with the caravan. He will most likely not be there, but he will ensure that room and board are already paid for you there.
Okay.
And what he does is, as a parting gift, is he hands you this little leather wallet. When you flip it open, there is like a small, almost sheriff's badge size pin, and it is two kind of like buffalo horns coming up with, or not buffalo, but like steer horns, and there is like harp strings between the two of them, made out of just a simple steel. So he's like, do not let the cultists see you have this, but if you show this to anyone you suspect to be my people, they will help you.
Okay. So we can go to this town, wait for the caravan to show up, and then just ask to join. We don't have to do any kind of crazy ruse or...
Okay.
Yeah.
Say we're traveling north, we're waiting for the caravan to show up.
Right. And that's something that does happen plenty of times. Right. People need to... The caravan needs to keep moving because other people have business ventures and deadlines they need to make, but, things break and people need to stop and repair for a few extra days. So...
Or pause and get food or whatever.
Yeah. It'll take you about 6 days to get to this kind of like way house that Loshin described for you guys, and he suspects it will take and that the caravan will be about a day and a half to 2 days behind you. So that'll give you plenty of time to set up and get your story together. And
sounds awesome.
But he also can't stress enough that while he supports your decision, that he believes this to be the more dangerous of the two options, because you will be traveling alone across the fields of the dead, and they are called that for a reason.
They will fear my bear.
The ocean just goes, I'm sure they will.
I'm going to let him walk in front.
I guarantee you they will not fear my twink as much as they fear your bear.
I guess just get some food supplies and then head out, some rations.
Yeah.
A water barrel, maybe.
I think we have 2 wine barrels.
We do, but we should fill one of them with actual water. As much as I enjoy the wine.
Yeah, I will not be drinking your wine.
What's wrong with our wine?
I don't drink it, period.
What's wrong with you?
Paladins. Morals. Take down buildings, won't drink wine. Weird.
I guess we can hunt along the way and get some food too, so we don't need a whole lot of stuff.
Right. We need to make sure we can feed the horses. And that's depending on what kind of terrain we're moving through.
Yeah.
You're going to be moving through rolling hills. They're not going to be that rocky. It's mostly going to be open, I think Iowa.
Okay.
You're going through Iowa.
Oh, man, we should take the river.
You're going through undead Iowa. That's just... so you're just going through Iowa.
As you say undead, are you thinking Walking Dead kind of undead Iowa?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Maybe Candyman, Iowa,
Cool. All right.
Iowa/North Illinois.
Anything else we want to do before we head out on this journey?
Go talk to the guy who bought our egg and just let him know he needs to disenchant it and then disintegrate the remains or whatever.
I mean,
Well, the problem is if we tell him that, then it was worthless to him to buy it.
Well, if he can use the magic,
yeah,
which was kind of the point when we sold it to him.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you sold it to him under the guise of Magic Regent.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to be honest with him and say, hey, the Order of the Gauntlet knows about the egg, we're still fine with you keeping it.
They
with
may.
the deal, but you know, if you're going to do something with it, you better do it quick or
Fast.
get it out of town.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So I'd say between your you finish buying your other little shopping that you had to do, and then getting over to hear your other meeting, and then the other larger discussions at hand, it's early evening. Like, it's not like sunset, but sunset's only a short ways off, and a handful of hours have passed, because I think it was like you got in here a little after, like a little before noon, and now it's
Yeah, I feel like it was
supper.
about 10 a.m.
Yeah.
when we got into town.
Yeah, we call it like 6 or 7 hours you've been in town. And you make your way back to the...
The wrong side of the tracks.
Glorious
You're
Paladin.
currently on the wrong side of the tracks. But yeah, you make your way back to the where you had sold the egg, and you see a sign up at the time that just says, it's like out for dinner. And at this, you probably realize like that yourselves that you probably need to get something to eat. Do you want to post up like a stakeout here for the guy to return, or?
Yeah, actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, well, not necessarily a stakeout. I might try to investigate and see if he's doing what we thought he was going to do. Like, scout around if I need to.
I feel like since we have a time crunch on leaving town, we should just hammer a note onto his door.
Oh, no.
And leave.
I'm not down for that.
Let's leave more evidence. Yeah.
Hey, that illegal thing you bought from us, those strangers in town, the dragon with the bear head.
Yeah.
They can't. They can't make out it was us. No way.
Well, being that I'm a ranger, I think I could probably handle tracking this guy down and either if he's already involved with taking care of this egg, I'm not even going to bother him. Like, if I can see that he's doing what we thought he was going to do with it, I'm good. I can come back, let you guys know, no problem. Okay. If he isn't, I'll give him a quick little heads up, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
You guys can go get dinner or whatever you need to. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, so roll me a investigation.
Not natural 20.
Not natural 20. All right. Yeah, you kind of ask a couple. You see a laundry mat open, or a launderer open, and you go over like that's nearby, and you ask him. They're like, "Oh yeah, he eats over at the Whistling Thistle, almost every night. If you want to go check out over there." And so just through there, you're able to tack your way over and find it. And you see him. They have kind of like a fenced off patio-ish like area, and he is sitting down, munching on some soup and bread and drinking some water, just enjoying the night air. It's a nice brisk, kind of like that riverfront brisk that you get. He's got that going on, and he's just sitting, relaxing, enjoying himself.
And I don't see any kind of indications that like this is just a normal thing for him.
Yeah, this looks like it's Tuesday.
Okay. I'm gonna, make my way over and without trying to bother too much, being nice, ask him to have a seat.
Okay. When he sees you, he goes, "Oh, yeah, sure. You have questions about your bow or anything? You don't mind if I keep eating, do you? I don't have a whole lot of time."
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not here to take up much of your time.
All right. You wouldn't call him inviting, but he's not like putting you off for anything, and he doesn't offer you to let you sit. He's just not. He's not warm. He doesn't necessarily have bedside manner, if you will.
Okay. So yeah, I say. So we've been through town for most of the day, and I just wanted to let you know that we have word that the Order of the Gauntlet knows about the egg, and while we have no problem with the transaction at all, the bow is of the greatest quality. I recommend that if you're using that for your own magic purposes, you should take care of that quickly. Or if not, if you're going to hang on to it for a little while, you may want to get out of town right away.
While I appreciate your concerns, our transaction was perfectly legal, and with only one egg in my possession, doesn't draw too much attention from the mother, and I will legally do what I will with my property. I can assure you of that.
Okay, I have no problem with that whatsoever, but it is in your hands. I've came what I needed to say. I'm going to go ahead and purchase your dinner for you, and I'll be on my way. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
He kind of like raises his eyebrows. He says, thank you, and thank you for your concern. And he lets you know it's like if the Order of the Gauntlet wants to come for his lawful possession, they are going to need lawful backing in order to take it from him. But he understands your concern. He understands their concern. And he assures you that he is not a novice and this is not his first rodeo. But thank you.
I will add in. That I'm going to buy dinner for him tomorrow as well, and I put a little bit of a few gold down in front of him. And
I want you to give you some perspective here. Still put down however much you want to put down.
Yeah. No, it's going to be gold. I get the perspective here. This is going to be a bribe.
Yeah.
I don't want him. I want to do my best to make sure that
the one gold bought his
selling it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
The one gold easily bought his dinner for like a month.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's soup and water. And the second gold.
Well, my goal here is I want his discretion. If the order comes and he does whatever he wishes with his purchase, I'd rather he not let them know where it came from.
Yeah, you put down we'll say 5 gold, and he goes, "Well, I don't keep receipts, so it'd be very interesting for them to know who it came from."
And I give him a good nod and thank him kindly and leave him to his dinner.
Okay. So, do you go through your stuff next morning? Anything you wanted to finish off in the evening?
No.
Find a place to have dinner and a drink or two, and then get ready to go in the morning.
Okay. You guys are more than welcome to obviously eat at the Black Stag Inn. You have heard of this other nice kind of little boutique called the Whistling Thistle. They tend to sell more elven-esque delicacies. There's a place on the other side of the river just called Marge's.
Marge's sound good to me.
And there is also a place it's technically on the other side of the river, but it is called The Barge, and it is by the dry docks, and it is just a barge that they have converted, an old barge that they've converted into a tavern.
Okay.
Marge's.
I'm fine
Marge's
with whatever.
what?
He wants to go to Marge's. The word just stretched out.
Yeah, so you over to Marge's, and it's almost like 4 small buildings decided to take over the back alleyway and just make one big, mostly outdoor tavern. There are canvases stretched across, so actually the whole thing is covered. There are several scattered large braziers providing both light and heat. Several fiddlers, drummers, flute player. There's one guy playing some bagpipes.
Ooh.
All out, and just people are just singing and dancing in this kind of like almost street festival bar that just kind of pops up in this same location. The corners of each of the little building establishments that kind of face into this alley, they all have windows facing out, and people come up, and each one is almost like its individual little bar kitchen, but they all seem to be serving the same stuff. In the middle, there is this big crier's stage where currently the drummer, the guy with the bagpipes, and one of the fiddlers is on top of just playing away.
Well, then I'm going to add dancing to my dinner and a drink because it sounds like fun.
Yeah, and there are plenty of people doing it.
I'm gonna say, who's that lovely dragonborn across the way? I think I might be in love.
So, what is your charisma?
He's trying to hit on himself, I think.
There's just a
Did
mirror.
you say there was another dragon?
No, I didn't.
Yes, there's another dragonborn.
Another
dragonborn. Across the way. Another dragonborn across the way.
There were bagpipers.
You know what? Yeah, I will let there be one just to let this happen. He has a +2 to his charisma.
Oh, there you go.
Charisma roll.
So, I mean,
charisma check.
his scales are shiny.
Charisma check. Oh, 23. Charisma, 23.
To do what?
To check if there's another dragonborn?
You want to see if there's another dragonborn for you to hit on, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We'll say, fuck it. There's like a group of 5, and among them there are 2 females. So it's 2 females, 3 males. They're mostly kind of keeping over to themselves, and they all seem to be wearing traveler's outfits.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So what now?
I'm going to hit on them.
They're all the they are all of the chromatic variety. You have a green and a blue female, and then 1 red male and 2 white males.
I'll hit on the blue female.
Okay.
Charisma check.
And by hit on, he means walks up and taps her on the shoulder.
Charisma check.
Gives her a good crackle.
The good crackle was a 19 charisma check.
So roll your persuasion.
Persuasion.
I guess.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah, roll your persuasion and then.
All right. 18.
Say what you're gonna say.
18 persuasion. How you doing, lady?
She kind of one arm holding the other. She turns to you with her wine. She goes, "I'm doing well. How are you?" As she then begins to sip.
I haven't seen many Dragonborn lately.
One of the white males just kind of comments, "Well, we are a bit of an oddity in this part, which is why we tend to travel together. Are you alone?"
No.
The blue dragonborn female goes, "Fascinating and articulate."
Thank you. You've been wonderful. And then
I know.
And then I walk away.
18 wasn't enough.
It got a hello and a response.
Yeah.
I mean, it got indifference.
Yeah, it was close enough. It was close enough.
I mean, they don't laugh at him when he walks off. They're just like, "Okay, bye." So we attack at dawn, right? Yes. At dawn.
Yes. At dawn.
We've ordered shots in the meantime and are watching this with like a row of shots.
Yep.
I
He didn't
mean,
get very far. We've got to shoot again.
We take a shot every time he's shot down. I think all 5 of them shot him down.
my guy doesn't drink, so it's fine. It's no big deal.
Designated paladin.
I rolled a 19 to be dancing in the middle of the street because it sounds like fun, especially after shots.
It is fun, especially after shots, and you're doing quite well. You know, you bounce around, you're kicking up your feet very well in time and tune with the music. You've got rhythm. I know, we're all surprised. And
It's not as chaotic as we thought it would be.
actually, it is.
There are
but
bagpipes, so it's amazing.
Yeah, but it is chaotic, but it goes with the music, which is just kind of like this happy chaos in and of itself, which is, if there's one way to describe Zell, it would be happy chaos.
While this is all going on, I'm going to order a couple bottles of gin for the trip.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Nothing crazy.
yeah,
Can I
gin.
say, as the gin is getting delivered, I walk over to Carradine and just lament my woes of getting rejected.
Yeah, you can totally say you do that.
I am sorry, my friend.
Yes.
Would you like some
no,
gin?
No, I would not like gin.
Okay.
But it was.
It helps it pass better.
Carradine, it was terrible. It was terrible.
looked terrible.
I went over and I spilled my heart, and was rejected. It was. It was my heart. It was my complete heart, and maybe I don't know how to say it per se, but I was rejected, and I've never spilled my heart as I did. I don't know how I recover from this.
Gin
Can you help
does
me?
help.
I
Yes.
No, I don't drink. Thank you.
Well, then no, he can't help you.
That's about that's as far as I can go. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
Thanks. I appreciate your help.
Maybe it's them. It's not you.
It
It's
was them. It was them. You're right. It was them.
How much would like 5 bottles of gin cost?
Probably about 10 gold. Because it was kind of far away when I said it last time. Probably about 10 gold.
I'll go ahead and take that off then. Okay. Guess a fine meal tonight before we head out.
Yeah, before we're
Nice meal at
eating
least.
our own killing and cooking.
Yeah.
Sounds
And
good.
you could do, nice meal for all of you. I don't know, probably 5 silver apiece.
Okay.
Get you some meat, bread, cheese, a fruit.
Okay.
5
apiece.
5 apiece.
Yeah,
5 silver.
Okay.
So 2 gold for the lot of you.
Is there anything else we want to do here before we left? Wrap up for the night? Head out in the morning?
No, I think just wrap up here and go out in the morning.
Okay.
Yep.
About halfway through your meal, when Zell gets up to go do some more dancing, someone finally figures out, oh, that's not a boy, that's a girl. And that's when some staring and murmurs start to happen. But then, people have been drinking for hours at this point, and people figure, fuck it. And now she's not the only one. So, without realizing, there's a mild competition now going on. and it's all Zell's.
Mild competition.
Cause?
Zell. Competition.
No, not for Zell.
Okay.
But who can be the most white girl
display.
wasted?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Zell is oblivious that term applies to her at all. It's great.
All right.
Who wins?
So-
who wins? Who wins?
We all win when that happens. We all win.
Okay.
Yeah, the best part about having a wagon is that you can go to sleep in it
Yep.
and wake up already on the road,
Yep.
as long as somebody else isn't drinking and wakes up first to start
Yes,
driving.
yes,
she
I
says,
will.
pointing at the
I
paladin.
will. I will.
Yeah, so if you want, you can easily find rooms somewhere to sleep. Given how late it is, you could probably find one for like a silver.
No, I'm just gonna drag
piece.
everybody to the cart.
To the cart?
Put 'em- throw them in the cart, make them go to sleep. I might sleep on the roof, maybe a minute, but other than that, I'm ready to drive.
Okay, it's not a wooden roof.
I might sleep in the chair.
Okay. it is a canvas roof. So.
Yeah.
I thought we fixed all that. So it's
Yeah, I
solid
thought we had
walls and-
reinforced the whole thing and turned it into like a gypsy wagon with walls and a roof and a door.
That's what
I know it has walls, roof, and a door. I mean, but I thought and I know the walls were all reinforced, but I thought the roof was still canvas.
We put tents over it to make it waterproof.
Right.
But I think there was a
I
solid
thought,
roof
thought there was
below
a solid
that.
roof on it.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Either way.
It's a minor enough detail to where I'll allow it.
Okay.
Fuck it. It's got a hatch.
Woo! Yay!
Either way, 3 drunk people are sleeping inside. I'm on the outside sleeping, ready to take off in the morning.
But it's
He's on the outside sleeping in.
But it's 3 drunk elves, so they wake up in like 4 hours.
No, man, you're drunk. 5.
5, yeah,
To
5.
sleep in.
Gotta sleep it off, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Okay. I guess buy a barrel of oats and a thing of water just for the horses.
yeah, just
Okay.
in case.
It's
The,
a 6-day ride.
Yeah, I would say the 6-day ride there, and then you would have about another 8 days from there to your first estimated stop to buy all of the feed, and the majority of what you'll probably need will probably cost you about 5 gold.
Okay.
That'll give you all your feed for your horses. That'll give you guys rations.
I'll take it out of mine.
Okay.
All right, well, you two.
I think you guys already have some repair kit stuff, so you don't need any of that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're looking to be about on the road for about 2 weeks for this stretch. The whole stretch is going to take the better part of 2 months
Okay.
to get from Baldur's Gate all the way up to Waterdeep. But there's going to be at least 2 major cities and plenty of small little places.
Sounds good.
Cool.
And attacks.
All right.
All right. What did I say? Okay, nothing.
So you guys head out on your first day, heading mostly eastward with a slight north tick.
Okay.
And just kind of like traveling along it where you've got to move around the hills in order to navigate with this. For the most part, you can still see the river the whole time. I mean, it's kind of like it's a ways off, but you're almost like following it. And this first stretch and there are, even throughout this first day, you kind of see when you get kind of down into a trough between 2 hills where it almost looks like a natural road has formed. So you seem to be moving along at least where there is plenty of track this way going, towards Baldur's Gate. So, at one point you guys stop for lunch. Do you want to do anything here real quick?
No.
Nothing I can think of.
No.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's your first 4 or 5 hours of traveling. You do another 4 or 5 hours of travel. And you're starting to get to the place where you can kind of like see the horses are getting a little tired for the day. It's probably about time to stop. You're able to find a place to set up camps.
I'll for the first time come off the wagon.
You fell off the wagon here and now. 3 days from a chip. And I mean, it's kind of nice. You can. Well, I guess would you guys want to set up camp on top of the hill, at the bottom of the hill,
On top.
on top?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's easily a hill.
Can we set up
You can
part?
set up on top.
It may seem weird, but can we set up part of the camp inside the wagon?
Yeah. Well, I guess what you could do is like you could set it up to where like you have one of the tents coming off of the side, almost like a camper,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then or you could set up to where both of them have tents coming up where you just like tack them kind of into and the whole thing's just kind of like, because it's going to be up high enough for where the elves could easily skitter back and forth underneath. You being a little bit larger, a little bit more bulkier, you can still do it going full underneath, but just wouldn't be as quick and as easy. But I mean, throughout practice, this kind of then becomes almost house-like. To get inside the actual tent, to get inside the actual cart, there is no door on either side. There's no hatch coming up from the bottom, so you do have to exit the tents to then go to one of the front or the back door and get into the cart that way. So.
Okay.
Wasn't one of the things we were talking about building was a false hatch in the bottom so that we could get in and out, like...
In case
we did talk about that. I don't know if it ever happened.
It got voted down. That one I remember getting voted down.
Okay. I forgot that had been discussed at all until just now, so...
Yeah.
I will take your word for it.
Or if you want to, I would say buy an extra tent, at which point in time you could then 360 the canvassing around in order to...
But we're already on the road. We can't buy that.
Yeah, not now, but I mean, like...
There will be another town.
There will be more towns.
I think we're good, though, for a defensive position on the hill.
Oh,
Right.
Okay. Roll me... I would say anyone interested, roll me a history check.
11. Somebody roll higher than 11. Come on.
19.
Yes!
Okay.
Thank my 18 on the die.
Thank you, 18 on the die.
This is an intelligence check, so I'm not going to roll at all because I'm at a negative and he just wouldn't care.
All right.
I surprise myself sometimes with the things that I remember.
Did Carradine want to...
No. I've only got a +2. If she's going to...
It's better than my +1, but...
Oh.
Roll it, man. Roll it. It doesn't discount you. Come
18.
on.
Okay. Both Zell and Carradine, you guys know the Fields of the Dead, while not originally called that for undead, was originally called that due to the number of battles that happened here in trying to establish control between the North and South Swords coasts. But throughout that time, the land really did become soaked with blood, and many of these hills are in fact burial mounds that are centuries old, and it is not uncommon for skeletons to spring up out of the ground. You also know that that there are plenty of bandits that do rove around this area, and while hilltops can and are be defensible positions, here they do, if you happen to be on one of these burial mounds, which is almost impossible to tell, it can almost become a nightmare as the ground caves out from underneath you as skeletons rise up. And it is one thing that they do strongly recommend is that you do not light any fires, as that either attracts bandits or can be a catalyst to wake the dead.
So, like, we're setting up the tent on top of this hill, and I'm standing there going, this hill seems kind of nice. Why are there so many
Zell, I'm sorry you're cold.
Oh,
I'm sorry
yeah.
Zell, I'm sorry you're cold. We can't light a fire.
Well, I'm not cold. Who said anything about being cold?
Nobody did, but we can't light a fire. Period.
Well, yeah, I'm the one who told you that.
I know, but I'm just reminding you
What?
of what you said. It's okay.
What? Stomp off in the other direction.
That was chaotic.
So
Remember, you ruined my tapestry.
I didn't ruin anything. You tried to destroy it.
No. You kept it intact. That was ruined.
Yeah,
That's ruined in my opinion.
I don't think you know how language works.
Scene pulls back to these mounds. And you just hear this arguing echoing over the hills.
So after
it's just fine.
After Carradine shares that history,
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of scout around a little bit to see if I can find any indications of recent battle or...
What about a detect evil or undead or something?
Cespedes can do that, I think.
Cespedes?
Yeah, I can detect evil.
Somebody needs to do their damn job.
No.
Woo! It's lit now. All the salts.
Shit just got real. All right, spells. I don't have that one on line right now. I don't have it on line right now.
It wouldn't be necessary.
So to
Or detect evil just in general if you have that.
it's detect good and evil
Yeah.
is the spell.
So I am casting that now. detect good and evil.
Yeah, so he's got while you guys finish setting up the camp, he actually spend an hour going through prayer and ritual to reallocate his spells. And he gets if any of the other ones you need to swap out, now is the time.
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Okay. So you cast detection of good and evil, and let me pull that spell up so I can find out what all it does. Hi, spell. Let's see, for the duration of this. Or undead. Cool.
Oh, nice.
I like how it's detect good and evil, but it says nothing about alignment. It's like, yeah, I can detect aberrations, celestials, elementals. Elementals are usually neutral. Which, okay. Fae, fiend, or undead. Within 30 feet of you, as well as the creature's location.
Do you have to pick a type of thing you're looking for?
Nope, all of them pop up.
Wow.
Similarly,
Weird.
if you are... Let's see if it's a...
So 30-foot sphere, so if they're down in the ground, we would know.
He can also tell if a place has been consecrated or desecrated.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Let's see. This spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, or a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So his sight would only go about 3 feet deep.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is still, generally speaking, is...
So you can see him coming.
Yeah, it's good enough to tell, like, hey, can I dig a latrine here? I probably shouldn't.
That's why Cespedes cast this spell.
There's a zombie.
He
There's
didn't
a
walk out
zombie
45
ready to
feet
eat
to
my
take
ass.
a shit. He didn't cast this until he was out there to take a shit.
This hill seems fine. Nothing is popping up. It is not consecrated or desecrated. So at the very least, this hilltop, which is not even like the highest hill around. It's just like, if they wanted to get to your hill, they would have to descend the higher hills to get to you.
Okay.
Or get into a bow off. One of the two.
It's all good. We just want some good line of sight here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel yourselves being in a kind of in a fairly defensible position, and you've got a fairly defensible cart, and nothing is giving the paladin the heebie-jeebies. So you feel like you've got a good place to camp for the night.
Cool.
Horses are tied off to the cart so they don't run away.
I'm still sitting on top.
Do you not like dirt?
I do not.
Okay. Ask and you shall receive.
He's all creeped out. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Somebody talked about skeletons pushing their way out of the ground, and he keeps looking at the ground like
He's
it's
the only one
lava.
that's got to sleep 8 hours. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
The night settles. When you first did stop, you had a few hours of twilight and everything. At that point in time, if you wanted to, you could have lit in the fire, done whatever kind of cooking you needed to while the light of the sun was still out.
Okay.
Having made those history checks, you can use that knowledge to your advantage. But then once the sun settled,
Right.
you stomp out the fire, mix it with water, make sure there's no light or smoke. Mm-hmm. And being as close as you are to the river, as the sun sets and the night cools, this fog just kind of rolls in, almost surrounding the hill.
Nice.
It doesn't quite get up high enough to you guys, and even then, you while you can't see the bottom, you know that it's only a foot or two beyond from the edge of the mist. But it does kind of give this strange island isolation you feel. So for that, we're going to need watches, and I'm going to need rolls.
I'll take
the first. I'll take the first since I'm on top.
Cespedes, you never have to take a watch ever.
Right, you're traveling with 3 elves.
Yeah.
You could sleep for 12 hours,
Right.
and we could each take a shift and not need you to cover anything.
Yeah.
And we have night vision.
Yeah, we do have
Okay,
dark vision.
Fine, I'll just go to sleep.
You get a freebie here.
Done.
You just stay asleep on top of the wagon. Nobody's going to disturb you.
Yeah.
Just
Wait,
here's your job. Here's your job. No crackling.
You should
In your sleep.
You should pretend like I'm taking a watch and just wait until I fall asleep and then take your watch.
If you want to assist us and have a chit chat while we're on watch, that's cool.
So I guess we could do a first, second watch, and then a beginning and end watch, and then have one of us do an overlap of 2 hours.
No, don't forget you got Cespedes.
You'll be fine.
All right.
Just go back to sleep.
Okay.
Like Zell does 3 hours solo, then 1 hour with Carradine. Carradine does 2 hours solo, then 1 hour with Falar, and then Falar does 3 hours solo.
2 hours solo for the first and second watch, and then the middle is covered.
Covers both.
Yeah.
So it's just okay. So it's back.
So we
So it's
all have
only
4
an 8
hours.
hour as opposed to okay.
Yep.
That way he gets to sleep.
Who wants first?
I'll go first.
I'll take second.
I'll take the morning.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you do. So then what I'll need is, well, yeah, I'm going to need perceptions, but it's determining whether or not they happen during your overlap or not.
Okay.
So Kirk, I will let you do. I'm going to need 2 high or lows.
High and low.
Okay, and then low.
Wake me up if you need me.
Okay. So on, I'm
We'll
going to
wake
need.
you up before we go.
I'm going to need Mary
Go,
to
go.
do a perception solo, and then I'm going to need the 2 of you to do a perception. So one of you rolls at advantage. I'll let you pick which one.
What's your perception?
It's
plus
pretty
7.
good. +5. So you roll. See, this is the one job that we gave him.
Right.
No
doing
crackling
that.
in his sleep.
I got a 23.
Mary got a 15.
I got a 18 for assist.
Okay. So the way assist works, just as a reminder, is the person assisting doesn't roll.
Oh, okay. It just gets a bonus.
Yeah, they get
That's right, that's right.
Advantage
Yeah.
on the roll. That's the way that works.
Sorry, I mental fart there.
Oh, that's fine. Dude, I need refresher courses on the rules all the time. The only reason I kind of know them is because I spend so much time GMing.
Yeah.
Like, can I do this with my player? I don't fucking know. Try. I got combat rules for days. What do you need? So nothing happens on the first watch. Mary's paying, Estelle's paying pretty close attention, but
She
does kind of
occasionally chucks pebbles at the snoring dragonborn. That
is a
her
beautiful
distraction.
face for it to have froze on.
That's awesome.
I missed it.
So yeah, but I mean, kid gets bored. Carradine gets up and does his watch with, and nothing seems to happen over there. And then during Falar, when he's awake with Carradine, you guys do kind of see something starting to move around down in kind of the mist below. You're not quite able to see what it is, but it does look to be some kind of thin, 4-legged creature, and there does appear to be about 3 of them, varying in size, as one of them appears to have something protruding out of its face.
First thing I do is rouse the damn dragon.
What?
Quietly.
What?
You arouse him? Consider him aroused.
What? Aroused. Oh my goodness.
I rouse. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely aroused.
So long as it stops you from snoring, I'll roll for it.
Yeah. No. So Falar has stepped back.
So is our dark vision able to...
It can't pierce cloud.
Okay.
It can just pierce dark.
Okay.
And this is still very much pre-dawn, pre-night.
Okay.
It's during your overlap period. So you've got maybe hour and a half to an hour left in your shift when this occurs.
So I'm newly woken, and I'll move up because Cespedes is still on top of the wagon. So I'm going to kind of move up there to get a better vantage point and give him a kick in the foot to get him to shut up or wake up.
Okay. From here, when you move up on top, because of the way cloud vapor and everything like that works, because you've moved further away, you can kind of see they look more like blobs. Where before you could kind of see a little bit more detail. You could clearly see where they had 4 hooves, where they had 4 legs before. From back here, they kind of look more blobular.
Okay.
And they are kind of weaving in and out of the thick fog. So even where you are, they kind of go from can't really tell what they are to almost gone. And for you, it's like dark shadow, disappear. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they appear to be sticking pretty close to the bottom of this hill. Maybe they haven't noticed you. Maybe they're trying to sneak around. You're not sure.
I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark, so long as I can see him enough to do so.
Yeah. So what happens is you've kind of got this timing going on because they started over, here, and they've made it probably about halfway by the time it takes you to get up, because they're not moving with any speed.
Right.
They seem to be stopping and testing the ground as they go. And it finally gets to a point where the larger one, the one you can see, it's got something coming like out from its head, possibly some kind of horn. You are able to. It kind of like stands still long enough to where you can see this mass, and you're like, that guy.
Okay.
Are they making? Is there any sound or noise they're making? Is it just totally quiet?
Complete silence, eerie silence.
The main reason I'm casting this, I mean, it does give me an advantage. Gives me more damage stuff. But what it does is gives me advantage on wisdom, perception, or survival checks on that. So maybe I can find out more just by hunters marking it.
Okay. Yeah, before it was just kind of like the watch. Now this is like an active. I'll let you choose between survival or perception.
I will do that based on my skill. Let me see. 1 second. I think they're probably the same. Yeah, they're both +5. Wow. So 13. 12. 12 is my best roll on advantage. Fantastic.
All right. So, yeah, just from where you're currently standing, you're not really able to tell what they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if they're not doing anything, if I have more time, I'm going to go and rouse Zell.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on?
As quietly as I can, I say there's something in the mists.
I have a go look.
Okay. You make your way over to Caravan, who's been tracking them. And they do seem to be moving away, but that's only because of the shape of the hill. Again, they seem to be sticking kind of down there to that base. And, Zell, at first you're looking, you maybe it's the sleeping area, but you can't really see them. And then you do kind of see this, a shadow, almost formless, kind of appear in the mist and then ebb back into it.
Can I roll to see if I can distinguish anything about it?
Sure.
Perception. 24.
Nice.
Woo! You feel almost silly. It's a deer. It's 3 deer just out having
I fire an arrow.
Oh, congratulations. You found dinner.
Hey, we're on watch. No, I'm not leaving nothing to chance.
Yeah, creepy land.
Ambushes happen instantly.
What's going on,
You
guys?
just happen to be the ambush this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I throw another rock at
Why-
Cespedes.
Why is there all,
While he's awake.
Roll your attack.
No, I'm not going to shoot an arrow at him.
Oh, okay.
I missed Cespedes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just deer.
I go back to bed.
why
apologize.
did you guys wake me up?
It's fine. Just,
Man.
I go back to bed.
Okay.
Look, if there is something in the mists, first thing I'm doing is waking asses up.
Fine, but leave me alone for the deer.
I'm not complaining. I would rather be awake and aware but I also now want to sleep.
Right.
Or meditate or whatever it is the fuck that elves do.
Come on, only call me if there's a bear.
Why, you want to
Suddenly-
show it your hat and see what it
A
does?
very thick man wearing leather chaps.
But are they assless?
They are chaps. By definition, they are assless.
I'm
Oh,
aware.
jeez, that's not what I meant, but okay, fine.
No, I had to explain that to somebody once.
That's sad.
That is sad. I was deliberately being funny.
Ever since then, I've never just assumed, like, man, there are people who probably assume that it has to be called assless chaps, and that's what... No.
No, because they were meant for protecting your pants when you were riding a horse. So they only cover the part of you that was touching the horse. That doesn't include your butt.
They were
What if
all-
you're riding-
They were always assless chaps. Always.
Yeah.
Right.
But what if you're riding a bear?
Then they're
Well,
I'll let you
then
decide.
you don't want to
Chaps.
protect your butt.
They're still assless chaps.
Or do you?
Yeah, they're still assless. for all reasons.
Chaps never covered your ass.
No.
Right.
That was our point.
Correct.
Or your groin.
No, yeah, nor your groin. Yeah.
So you can show off your G-string.
I want to be
Or
a
your cod
cowboy.
piece. Or your cod piece, whatever
It's
you want.
gone south
It's
real
your
fast.
discretion.
It's gone
Yeah.
south
Yes.
real fast.
I would have said
All right.
southwest, but
Rawhide.
All right.
sorry, I apologize.
I'll
That
do a
was bad.
circle back around, make sure nothing else is creeping up on us in the other direction. As everyone's settling down.
Can I wake up
Yeah,
yet?
they woke you up,
You're
and then you
awake.
decided to go back to bed.
You're asleep, you're
Yeah,
waking
well,
in.
should I wake up is what I mean. I said wake me up when there's something serious.
Yeah, no. We started talking about bears and the various forms of chaps. We all agree that assless is the only one that exists.
Yep.
And then you asked if you could wake up. And now I've recapped the last 20 minutes.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm still sleeping.
Yes.
That is an
I'm doing
accurate statement.
one more round around to make sure nothing's creeping up on the other side or the other way.
Yeah, do one more perception check.
11.
Yeah, nothing else seems to be creeping up. 'Cause, I mean, you're just staying up on top of the hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else seems to be creeping up. Yeah, and the last hour of your shift passes. You go to sleep. Caravan, it's you for the last. Oh, no, sorry, Falar, it is you for the last 2 solo hours until dawn, and nothing else seems
Pretty
to show
quiet.
up. Yeah.
Excellent.
You know what? All that waking up made me wake up again. How you doing, fella?
Doing excellent.
All right.
Dinner's that way, and I point in the general direction. Or breakfast is that way, and the point where the deer were.
Okay. And the dawn almost kind of comes in with this incredible cleaning sweep. Like, as the light hits the fog, it just dissipates, and you are once again able to see far out over into the open. And you can see as you put yourself together and you see the dew clinging to the blades of grass, and it is pretty serene. Nice. So for the
morning before I took the blue dragon's horn looked just like this. It's beautiful, isn't it?
it is.
It is.
It is very
No one
much.
is arguing with you.
Yes.
I'm arguing with you.
Nah.
The voice from the sky is arguing with you. I don't think I believe you.
Nope.
I control the weather, bitch. Anyways, we will start with Seth. Roll me a d20.
Son of a gun. Do I get any additions?
Nope, just need to know what it is.
No, 2.
Okay.
No weird looks from Andrew here. So he's either got a really good poker face, or this wasn't too exciting.
No,
Like,
it's
two
just
sucks.
the reason there's nothing going on there is because I always roll a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
He's just
I have
not
this
surprised.
block. It's just called Seth.
Yeah, he's not surprised at all.
Yeah. You guys travel good 3, almost 4 hours. You're starting to think like maybe it's time to pull over for lunch. And as you start to round this hill, you actually do see some masses there in the road. It only takes maybe another moment or two after spotting them to realize these are deer once again. But these have been, and as you get closer and closer, they have been clawed and slashed, and something has taken huge bites out of them. They have just been completely, brutally eviscerated.
So my hunter's mark lasts for a while. I would be able to tell if this was one that we'd seen last night. Not that it may be important at all.
Yeah, and so how long does it last? And what's the range?
Yeah, we did walk quite a while. Maybe not even that important. Let's see here.
I'd say range is probably more important because.
Oh, I cast it at level 1, so it was only an hour. Never mind. We're good.
Yeah, that you were well aware of its position the entire time. That as long as it was within range of your watch, of the end of your watch. But
Okay. Sorry.
yeah, about the time that Caravan went to sleep, it fell off your radar. But that's because the spell ended.
Okay.
But yeah, so these things, from what you're able to see without stopping and taking a deeper look, met some kind of grisly end.
Well, I want to stop and take a slightly deeper look.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a survival check on it and
Yeah.
see
Okay.
if I can figure out what's
I want to make sure, because it seems very curious to me. I want to see if anything has actually been eaten or if they were just slaughtered.
Okay, so survival will work for this. Medicine will work for this because that kind of falls under anatomy, in my opinion. Nature would also work.
I rolled a not natural 20.
Non-natural 20,
I got a 22
22.
on survival.
23 on survival.
Okay.
No work.
Cespedes is aware that they are deer
They are dead.
and that
Thank
they are
you,
dead.
Seth.
The rest of you actually do see whatever made the claw marks were not claws. They would have been closer to like fingers ripping through it. And yes, there were actual bites taken out of it. Something may have bitten into and eaten this, but it was more of a humanoid jaw structure. And you do see that there are several slashes and almost clean cuts that would have come from chipped blades. So
Can we tell how long ago this happened? Is there decay, or is this recent?
These are recent. You almost have every reason to believe these are the same deer from last night.
Okay. Are there any tracks going off in any direction?
You rolled survival, right?
Yep.
And you got the 23?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You are able to, with that roll, see that there are... It's a trail of, like, disturbed dirt that kind of, like, came almost up the way you guys did and then continued on and around the hill. It's kind of hard to say whether or not they're following the same path you are, whatever this was, whatever its number was. You can tell that there was more than one.
Right.
But you also don't know if maybe whatever this thing that did this, be it crazed wild men or skeletons, as both are possibility. You do see that it did kind of go more or less the way you plan on traveling, but that could have just been it going around the hill.
Right. Okay. Do you want to track we want to track them, or?
Yeah, I'll spend a few minutes
Just keep a watch.
kind of scouting.
At least make sure they're not
area.
going exactly the same way we are, or waiting in an ambush.
Or they're splitting up into different hills to set an ambush, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would suck.
So what we'll do here is we'll call this 2 different tracking. So I'll have one person kind of go up a hill and take a kind of a bird's eye view look, and then we'll have one person follow the path you're intending to go to. So say who's doing what, and then
I can move really fast, so I can go up on the hill if you want to stay here.
Sounds good. And I can kind of, if I'm going to go where I know that they've gone, I kind of want to do it stealthily. And
I can go with you and assist, because I still move faster. I don't move as fast as you do, but we move at the same speed.
Yeah. I'm
but I can also
really
be quiet.
slow and loud, so I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah, you guard
Stay
the
with the
cart.
cart.
Yeah.
Okay. So stealth team, roll me a stealth check, and then whoever is doing the tracking, roll a survival. And then Carradine, roll me a perception check from on top of the hill.
You said you were assisting me, Mary?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would that be with stealth? I need the assist.
You can't really assist with stealth outside of a spell.
I got an 8.
Okay.
No, they see you right away.
And a 17.
Okay.
I mean, stealth may not be super important.
Right,
here,
it
but
depends. There may not be anything to see.
Right.
So.
I got a 12 in my perception.
Your perception. Okay.
Crappy 12.
You see Falar as he kind of tracks up the path that you guys are supposed to be going until he goes around a hill that kind of takes it outside where you're going to go. You have no idea where Zell is. Zell's just gone. But you know Zell's supposed to be with Falar, so Cespedes is still just sitting on the cart. And then survival for tracking?
18.
For that one, I am assisting.
Okay. And yeah, for that one you can...
Yeah, the 18's better.
Okay. So you, for the most part, the roving little band that you're seeing 2 or 3 footprints, some boots, one of them was clearly barefoot.
But barefoot, not like bare bone foot.
Yeah, can
right?
we just...
Can we determine that it wasn't a walking skeleton if it was a barefoot?
Yes, you would be able to... With that roll, you'd be able to determine that. And this is just a bare foot.
Okay. And
you do kind of see several droplets of blood, and it does kind of get to a point where it's like, okay, well, per our map, we would go this way around the hill. They went that way. So from here at this fork, did you want to continue to follow them, or did you want to...
I want to make sure that our path doesn't put us into ambush. Like, is there, like, if we continue the way that we were going to go...
You could probably do? I would say at this current hill, you could go up it and kind of get a vantage point and kind of like see like, okay, if they were going to, it would either be A, up on this hill, or B, there's our path. Here's kind of where I think they went.
Yeah.
So what it would be here is, again, stealth to get up the hill, because I imagine you're still trying to be quiet.
Yep.
And then another survival, and this would kind of be your tactical planning of what you think would happen.
Okay. Yeah, because my I don't care about them. I just want to care that we're safe.
Right. We just don't want to walk into an ambush.
Yeah.
So,
so we'll do that. So I will
stealth up the hill as well.
Yeah, stealth.
Oh, this time I'm the one who tripped and fell and died.
Much better. I got an 18. So I turn around and look at you, and I'm like,
I got a 4. So
you started going up the hill, and you actively fell and said shit. Like,
it was loud enough that I came off the cart.
I'll just wait
thinking
here.
Thinking I needed to run up the hill.
No, they're enough of the ways away, so it wouldn't have been that loud. She didn't scream it.
Fair enough.
Though I would say this is more for Mary. If you do scream, they will be close enough to hear you.
No, I do not scream. I just sort of sit down and then fold my arms and then wait for him to come back.
And yeah, so she's down there at the bottom of the hill. That wouldn't have given you line of sight, so you wouldn't have been able to see. But yeah, you're just at some point, like I said, he went around that hill bend, and then you're just kind of hanging out. You don't see anything else moving from where you're up on. Okay. So roll your survival, and she
not natural 20.
Not natural 20. Okay, that's good enough.
That's my number today.
Yeah, dude, 20 gets you a lot. So yeah, 20 gets you anything I would deem hard.
Okay.
So from here, what you're able to see is you do actually see them continue to move more in a northerly fashion, where you guys at this point in time are still moving mostly east. So you kind of
I actually see them, or
no, not them. Like where the tracks.
Gotcha.
You kind of see. Yeah, you were based off of what you'd seen from those bodies. It had happened, hours ago, and whoever this was had continued to push on for at least a few hours before you guys even showed up to the bodies. Okay. And the path that they seemed to have been following, the paths of least resistance, and looking at those, you kind of go, okay, well, they'd be going up, and like as far as you can see from up here, it's like, okay, they'd be going there, probably go around that hill. If they were actively going to double back, they would have to be here, and my God, why not just take this first one? And the logical sense seems to be that they're
just moving away. Okay. That's good enough for me. So I head back to the.
I pick myself up and go with him.
Yeah, I give Zell some assistance because she's very pouty right now about her fail.
This is an accurate statement.
You go to grab the shirt collar and then go, oh yeah.
Oh damn!
You're not wearing a shirt.
And you just come back with mud.
Just because we're on the trail, is there anything salvageable for the deer if you guys want lunch? Is that something you want to do, or is this not something you'd be into?
You might remember that I like it raw, but maybe you don't.
Well, you're back there with the deer, so this may not be something I even need to take care of. Did you take care of this while we were scouting?
I don't think the deer are near me. I think the deer are further away.
No, we stopped the wagon next to the deer.
The wagon stopped at the deer.
Oh,
so the deer are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never
so
mind.
if you want to try to do something with them, I would say keep in mind that these things were mauled by humans is the best way to describe what happened to them. And normally, from what you know about human physiology, they do not eat raw game meat. So
that fact has always confused you, but you do know it.
Yeah. So however you wish to approach this, those are facts you know.
I will just say this for facts everyone knows. As they roll into the wagon, I will be eating a leg of deer.
Okay.
Happy breakfast, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you guys roll up, and you come back, and Cespedes is sitting on the driver's seat still. He's just munching away on a leg of deer, which is really weird because there are no tracks from there to the deer and back. How he got there, you will never know, and it just confuses you. So much so, you feel no need to ask him.
I'm of the waste not, want not mind here.
Are you going to also eat a leg of deer?
Because we're on the road and we have provisions and I don't want to cook it, I'm not into the raw stuff. I'll let you continue, but I don't know if I'm going to share.
Yeah, I don't trust it. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, I don't trust it either.
Right.
Well, in my tummy, it tastes good.
His lightning guts can handle shit.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah. I got deer in my tummy.
I guess head on the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You're able to travel and I would say like at this point in time, like near the deer carcasses, this is also kind of like, since you've already pulled over, that's where you guys have lunch, and you do continue on. And again, you kind of get to that point where you're like, okay, we've got like an hour before sunset, time to stop, set everything up, do whatever quick little cooking you need to.
Yeah. Seth, you want to use your find good or evil to pick a mound for us to sit on for the night?
Certainly, yeah.
That may or may not be corrupted or
Yeah.
undeady.
Undead!
So, yeah.
You guys want to do the same shifts as before?
Yeah, might as well.
Make it easier
All right.
for the GM.
Done. Cast.
Okay. And again, this mound hill seems pretty normal. I mean, for the most part, you've been following a trail, so you're kind of starting to believe that maybe someone's already kind of come out and done the excavation to be like, this is the safe hill. This is not the safe hill. Because that one way that you saw those tracks kind of go up and beyond, it is an easy place to have walked or to even get a cart up through.
Right.
But this way was the clearly traveled, you can almost see the dirt way, and they did not follow that. Okay. And that seems to be where you guys are going. And you've probably got about another two, maybe 3 more days before you're going to have to start off-roading it a little bit.
Any other kind of travelers we came across or anything like that was
so far, no. Most of the traffic this way, if they were going to go from Ilthor to Baldur's Gate, they probably would have gone via the river.
I see.
So it would be kind of like if you were going to run into a caravan, it would be coming from Baldur's Gate, specifically targeting this part of the tradeway, which given that the next caravan they seem to launch one every week or so based off of what Lucian was telling you, and that this one is being aimed towards Waterdeep as opposed to upriver, you kind of get the feeling that you shouldn't really encounter anyone, and if you do, they're most likely going to be someone who got delayed and is waiting for the next safe group to come along.
I see.
And that's going to happen probably at an actual establishment, which when you get ready to go off-road, you should be running into one of those. So you probably got another day or so before.
Okay.
All right.
Same shifts and...
Yeah.
So I'm going to do 2 more high-lows. Again, Kirk, call them.
First one low.
Okay.
Second one low.
Okay. I'm going to need Mary to roll a perception and just Eric.
10.
Okay.
13.
Okay. Mary, you still have the same shift as the night before, still throwing stones at the dragon who just, he sounds like a rock polisher, so you wonder if you hit him with one, if it'll come out a shiny rock.
And then I start wondering about whether dragons have gizzard stones and whether dragonborn use gizzard stones. Have I ever seen him eating rocks? Maybe. This is what I do for 4 hours.
Cespedes.
Yes.
You just kind of have... You're having like a standard dream, one you've had 1,000 times, where, you're just kind of...
Snoring away.
Yeah, you're snoring away in your dream. Like, you dream about you sleeping. But then you find yourself floating, and you go to take in a deep breath, but you can't. There's just... It's like you're deep in water, and you feel this pressure around you, and you go to try to move, but you can't. It's like there's invisible bonds all over your arms. And then very, very faintly, you just hear this raspy, cackly laugh. Just... just going over and over. And as it continues, just like the pressure behind your eyes starts to build and build and build. And then it just snaps to a bright white, and there's this white noise ringing in your ear to Falar, trying to wake you up. And Falar, you're just trying to rouse him because it's time to get going.
Okay.
You're he has just been locked in this rigid sleep. Normally he wakes with the dawn, but
I'm sorry,
everyone else has gotten up and moved along.
I'm sorry, Thalar. I take a swing at your face.
Okay.
Do you apologize before punching him, or?
No. I'm in this kind of state.
No, I get it.
I
It
swing
sounded
at him.
like you were in character apologizing before you hit him.
No apologies. Just swing at him. 12.
That does not hit. I'm on you.
All right.
And it's really sluggish. Like, you've seen him move in battle. And Seth, honest question: have you ever had sleep paralysis where you've woken up and you just can't move your body at all?
Nah, not that I know of. No.
Okay. Well, you ever woken up with like your arm still asleep?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And then you try to move it. That's what it feels like you're trying to do.
Yeah.
As you go for that instinct swing, and I mean, like, his shoulder turns real fast, but then like this like limp noodle just kind of wiggles out.
That's the noise it makes.
And even then, as you first wake up throughout this terror, you realize that you aren't in fact breathing. And
no.
It takes you a minute of conscious thought of like inhale, exhale, before you start getting up and moving. And you see this, Fowler, you see this just strain across Cespedes' face.
Okay.
And then as you start breathing, your blood starts circulating. You start getting you start getting mastery of your arms again, but they still just feel foreign.
All right.
As you but over time, in the next few moments, you start flexing your fingers and rolling your wrists. You start to feel gradually more and more like yourself. But it does take you probably a good 10 minutes almost to like actually wake up and regain mastery of your body.
Holy crap! Okay.
It is 10 o'clock,
Yes.
or pretty close to it. So I think it's a pretty good spot to end.
Okay.
Great! I woke up like a zombie at the end.
No, you just had sleep apnea. We have to invent the CPAP and everything will be fine.
Fair enough.
Dungeons & Dragons is property of Wizards of the Coast. Please visit dnd.wizards.com to purchase your copy of the game today. The opening and closing music, Epic, is property of Ben Sound. Check them out at bensound.com for more royalty-free music. This has been a production of Gaming Without Gaming, all rights reserved. You may download only material displayed and identified on the site as specifically available for downloading. Such material is for non-commercial, personal use only, provided you also retain all copyright and other proprietary notices contained on the materials. You may not, however, distribute, modify, transmit, reuse, repost, or use the content of the site for public or commercial purposes, including the text, images, audio, and video without our written permission.